will God's people be persecuted? God's people need to become a nation, a great nation, or a people to be persecuted. But when there are few people, not enough to become a nation or an ethnic group, then persecution will be relatively less. When God's people become a nation or become a great nation, they begin to be persecuted. Let's take an example. In the time of Moses, at that time, when Moses was just born, the Israelites, although they had no king ruling them yet, there was no one among them to rule over them as king, but they had already become a nation, the nation of Israel. Then this nation in Egypt multiplied and increased, and when the population was large enough, they began to be persecuted. It is prophesied in the Bible that at the end of the world, which is in the period of half iron and half clay, God will set up in heaven a kingdom that will never be destroyed. This kingdom will not be left to any other nation of the earth, but will belong only to God's people. So when will God's people become a kingdom? The book of Daniel records it this way, that during the reign of these kings, ruling together, when it comes to the feet and toes of half iron and half clay, then God's kingdom will rise. At that very time, God will set up in heaven a kingdom that will never be destroyed. So the kingdom of half iron and half clay is what the book of Revelation refers to as the kingdom of the ten-horned beast. It is not the time of the seven-headed ten-horned beast, but when it comes to the ten-horned beast, as the seven-headed ten-horned beast's seventh head no longer exists, the seventh head has already split and then allied again, becoming the period of the ten-horned beast, which is when Russia splits and allies again. Russia's splitting. It should be at the time when Russia splits. Russia splits and then splits into about 10 countries. 10 countries, each small country ruled by its own king. Each small country has its own king ruling. At that time, God will set up in heaven a kingdom that will never be destroyed. This kingdom is the spiritual kingdom of Israel. At this very time, the spiritual kingdom of Israel, while Russia is split and constantly attacking the 10 small countries, especially the small country of the south and the country of the north. As for the country of the south and the country of the north, during the period of constant warfare, which is what the book of Daniel talks about, the king of the south attacking the king of the north, and the king of the north attacking the king of the south, constantly attacking for about 10 years. During that period, it is when the spiritual kingdom of Israel experiences a great gospel explosion, a period of gospel explosion. When the gospel explodes, many people know God, know the Lord, know Brother Heber. Then, after about 10 years, during the period of about 10 years after the big outbreak, we had already become a great and mighty nation, with a population even larger than the total population of China. Even the population of 2 Chinas might not necessarily be more than ours. At that time, just then, the divided Russia had already been divided for nearly 10 years, and there appeared a very powerful monarch, namely the divided country. Divided into 10 small countries. A country in the north, there appeared a monarch with great power. This monarch is called the Great Wicked One. This Great Wicked One then unified Russia, reunifying Russia, which had been divided for many years. So, this Great Wicked One attacked many countries. Later, he directly and continuously attacked God's people. This is the ten-horned beast. Namely, the ten-horned beast. First, write the seven-headed ten-horned beast. Later, the seven-headed ten-horned beast. When it came to the seventh head, after it received a fatal wound, they all became the ten-horned beast. Of course, there is another beast, which is the UK and the US, called the two-horned beast. Later, it is the period of the two-horned beast and the ten-horned beast. Now, only 7 remain of the seven-headed ten-horned beast. The seventh head. The seventh head. After the division, there will be no more seven-headed ten-horned beast, only the ten-horned beast, because for the seven-headed ten-horned beast, the previous 7 regimes are no longer there. For example, the Persian Empire we spoke of, the Babylonian Empire, the Egyptian Empire, these are all gone. But now, there is only the Russian Empire. Then the emperor of the empire is no longer here. Putin the Great is no longer here. Russia is no longer called an empire. Soon the matter of this emperor will be revealed, and then Russia will divide. May glory be to the Father and the Lord.